Hi everyone, I'm here to talk with you about getting physical with Zen Barre and the benefits that a regular Zen Barre practice can bring to you in 3 different areas, including strength, endurance, and flexibility. So just for a little bit of background, my fitness career began when I was really young, when I was 14, and I started running. And I used cardio as my means of getting in shape as an overweight teenage girl who wanted to quickly drop some weight that I had accumulated because of hormones and a sedentary lifestyle. I didn't play sports or anything, but I found that running was a great way to shed the pounds quickly. And this was back in the 90s and when cardio was queen, and the SnackWells and all that stuff were the way to go. No fat, lots of cardio. So this is kind of where my fitness career began, exactly where it began when I was 14 years old in the early 90s. So I learned that in order to keep getting better and to keep challenging my body, I had to keep increasing my mileage. And that wasn't the best for my joints and my bones and my muscles when now 30 years later, at the age of 43, I've run so much in my past that I've done damage that I'm trying to repair and to prevent from further taxing my body. So I also began weightlifting, weight training when I was in high school, and I was on the girls' basketball team because weight training was what we did to accompany our basketball workouts. So I was introduced to weight training back then, and I never got proper education on how to do either of these two things. So I learned that I didn't learn the proper way, the proper form, and the proper technique. And this carried on into adulthood when I continued a weight training routine. I continued cardio, and over time, you keep increasing your mileage. You keep increasing the weights, the size of the weights. And if you're not running or lifting with proper form and technique, you are not properly engaging the muscles that you're trying to engage, and you're recruiting other muscles that you shouldn't be, and that's what leads to muscular imbalances and injuries. And lo and behold, I did suffer my fair share of knee injuries, back injuries, and these didn't show up until later on in life when my body was like, I'm done. You can't continue on with the volume, with the intensity, and with the frequency, because I'm just going to start getting angry at you and giving you things like knee problems, sciatica pain, an umbilical hernia perhaps, which could also be due to pregnancies and just getting back into physical activity too soon and too quick and with too much intensity, and also autoimmune disease. And flare-ups. So here's what I'm here to tell you today. When my body said to me, I'm done, I had to find a different way to stay active because I've been active for over 30 years of my life, and my body craves it, my mind needs it, and so I had to pivot, right? A wonderful friend's term from the 90s. I had to pivot and change. I was doing barre in between all of this. I began barre back in 2016. Really, really wish I had found it sooner, honestly. But at least I can introduce it to others now. And discovered that with lightweight dumbbells and or body weight, I could target the muscles I was trying to target in a way that was safe for my body and didn't tax my joints and my muscles because I could maintain proper form. I wasn't holding 20-pound dumbbells anymore. I'm holding 3-pound dumbbells. I'm able to use proper form, and I'm able to gain strength, endurance, flexibility without the injuries. So, 3 things I want to tell you that Zen Barre can do for you. 1 is helps you with increasing your strength. Yes, you may be using 3-4 pound dumbbells. We try not to encourage more than 5 because then you start losing the form. But if you do 16 to 24 repetitions in a row with 3-pound weights of one exercise, and then immediately jump into another. So if you're working your muscles to muscular fatigue, you are breaking down the muscles and then they grow back stronger. So when you get to the point where those last few reps are either really difficult or impossible to complete, you know you are gaining strength because your muscles are going to break down and they're going to grow back and repair themselves that much stronger. So yay, increase strength even with 3-pound weights. Guys, I have not lifted more than 10-pound weights in a year and a half. And I had a little stint earlier in the winter where I was experimenting again to see if I could handle a heavier weight, and discovered my trap started acting up. So I'm back to my 3-pounders, and after taking a couple of weeks off of any sort of upper body, and I'm loving it. And I love the results. Long, lean muscles. I don't want the bulk, so I'm not going to shoot for it. Increased endurance. When you use light weights, light dumbbells or wrist weights, and or just your own body weight, you are building the endurance. So over time, you're able to do more repetitions of that particular exercise, and that's endurance. So when you are able to perform the same work over a longer period of time, you're building endurance, you're increasing, which leads to increase in energy, an increase in metabolism, and fewer injuries. So I've been spending a lot of time, and I want to do more videos on this too, using body weight. I mean, hamstring curls at the bar, if you do it in proper form and take your time and really engage that muscle, you burn it out like you wouldn't believe. And I don't even use anything but the weight of my own leg. So it's not taxing your joints, it's not taxing your muscles, it's not taxing your bones. And eventually I can either keep loading more repetitions on as my muscles get stronger and build endurance, or I'm toying with the idea of maybe putting like a 1/2 pound weight, like a little wrist weight, like a bala band around, and seeing what happens. I know I'll have to decrease the reps, but I'm increasing the weight, so I'm challenging my muscles in a new way. So the point is not to stay sedentary. We want to continue to challenge our muscles, whether that be with more repetitions or maybe adding a piece of equipment, such as a band or a ball or a very light weight. Finally, increase in flexibility. Yay, bar is fantastic because as a former runner who would just like finish my miles and say, I'm done, I don't need to spend 5 minutes stretching because I have other things to do. Bar workouts, especially the way we choreograph Zen Barre, I'm speaking from Zen Barre, is we incorporate stretch breaks in between all of the different sections of class. So the first section of class you do is warm up, and then you do lower body. After lower body, we stretch those quadriceps, we stretch those hamstrings because you need it. And the key to building strength and flexibility is to lengthen that muscle after it's been tightened up and contracted and you worked on strengthening. So we stretch after lower body. We stretch after upper body. So we stretch out your biceps, your triceps, your chest, your shoulders, your back, immediately following the section, because that's when it's most effective. And then we move to core and mat work, where we'll work glutes a little bit more and we'll work your core. And immediately following that, we follow up with the cool down stretch. And we may even throw a couple of extra little glute stretches in there because your glutes love to be stretched out after, participating in some of those glute kickbacks or those hamstring curls or the bridges. So we incorporate lots of different opportunities for you to stretch your muscles out, which leads to the long, lean look that people who are attracted to bar workouts seek. That's just me. So, as you can see, bar workouts are fantastic for increasing your strength, increasing your endurance, and increasing your flexibility. And you don't need heavy equipment. You take your 3-pound dumbbells and put them in your gym bag and bring them to the gym, because sometimes they don't have those lighter weights available. Or I'm getting ready to head out on a trip, so I toss them into my bag with a band and a ball, because you can deflate the ball, and a yoga mat, and bring those with me to my hotel or my Airbnb, and don't need to worry about lugging around a lot of equipment, because the beauty of bar is it's easy to do anywhere, anytime, by anyone. So that's this week's Let's Get Physical with Zen Barre. I hope you decide to try out a bar workout if you never have, and or a Zen Barre workout, just to see the extreme benefits that you're getting from this type of low impact yet effective exercise. So thanks for joining me for this week's little tea time chat where we talked about getting physical with Zen Barre. And until we meet again at the Zen Barre, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care, and I will see you soon. Cheers.